as you can see, we have a bunch of containers all the way around our back porch here.
It's my pot garden. I thought you were objecting to the way I said hi.
No.
Let's try again.
Okay. Hi guys!
Hi.
Today we are in our backyard and we're going to talk a little bit about our garden. So as you can see, we have a bunch of containers all the way around our back porch here.
It's my pot garden. Not that kind.
Not that kind of pot. So we're going to talk a little bit about our garden and why we decided to do it in containers this year. We just moved into our house a couple months ago, and so we didn't have time to do a full-blown garden like Bill has done in years past. So this year we decided to do it in containers. So we'll show you a little bit around the garden and what Bill has planted this year and just some of the basics. Doing a container garden is something that you can do in any living situation as long as you have just a little bit of outside access, or you can even do it in a window. Obviously you don't have to do it as big as we did, but if you have a balcony, if you live in an apartment, or just a small little patch of yard in a small house that you're living in, the nice thing about doing container gardens is that you can do them anywhere. So anybody can grow some of their own vegetables.
So the reason I did it this way is we were moving this year and I didn't have any time to prepare garden beds in the new house since we moved in June. So what I did was dug up the compost pile at our old house and put it in all of these large plastic pots, which you can buy from any sort of dedicated garden supply store or online. Some of these pots I actually got from nurseries that contained trees I planted at the previous house. I put a bunch of compost mixed with sand in the bottom of these. Then I put some of this stuff on top of that, and I also mixed in some organic fertilizer and mixed them around to some extent. I tried to leave at least a thin layer of just this on top because unlike the soil from my compost pile, this was fully sterilized, so it prevents most weeds from coming up. If you just use normal soil, it will usually have lots of weed seeds that are just waiting to sprout. This you can buy at any garden supply store. Same with the fertilizer there. In general, we're trying to avoid pesticides and herbicides and non-organic things in the garden. I am reserving the right to put a little bit of Miracle-Gro on plants if they look like they need it later in the season, but other than that, we generally go pretty organic. What we planted this year, starting at this end, is broccoli, and we have eggplant here. We got tomato, 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 tomato. I love tomatoes, especially the Sun Gold variety, which is what these big ones are, or something similar like Sun Sugar. I think I have one of those as well in here. This is going to be a permanent feature, unlike most of these plants. This is going to be our pot of strawberries. We found this back in the blackberries here, so figured I'd use that for something that would be a little longer lasting. More tomatoes all the way along here. What we have here is it's kind of hard to see, but this is a green pepper plant with peppers growing on it, and I figured I would use the extra space while the pepper plants are still small to grow radishes. So that's what we have here. And these are ready to pick. These are getting pretty big, actually. I want to pick them before they get woody. So we've got, again, pepper plants with radishes around them in all of those places. This is the herb area, and we have basil, mint, oregano, thyme, basil, rosemary. This is zucchini. This is more zucchini. You can see the zucchinis. This is actually making little round zucchinis. Are just about ready to go. We've got carrots here. Those got a late start, so they're going to take a little while. This is cucumbers. We've got one cucumber here that is, if you come and look under here close, you can see we've got cucumbers that are almost ready. You could probably pick it now, but I want to let it get a little bit bigger. We've got yellow squash that's starting here. We have more cucumbers, some banana peppers, and a lonely habanero, which I bought by accident. But we'll see, I might try some of those. So back here in the shady area, we have lettuce, which really likes to be in the shade, and it is quite happy. And we have some peas. Those might be able to use a little more sun, but this was the area where I could find to put this grate up against something for the peas to climb. So we'll see how the peas do. They may end up being a fall crop. Over here was an existing garden bed that we found that I renovated just because it was an area I could put one of these up against another wall. This one has beans, which are all of these guys, which I actually planted from seed. One or two small bush beans that I got as starts actually already have a few small beans on them. More zucchini over on the ends, and then more radishes and carrots along here as well. So the way I got these tomatoes so big, even though we didn't really start the garden till June, was I bought starts. And my experience with those is they're a little more expensive than buying everything from seed, but it's a lot quicker to get your garden going if you get it going late in the year. And for tomato plants, they really don't like to be outside much before June in the Seattle climate anyway. So if you wanted to start those from seed, you would need to have a cold frame or a greenhouse and get them started in February or March. Same goes for the pepper plants. Those really don't like to be outside when it's cool. So if you don't buy them as a start, you need to buy them as seed and then put them in a cold frame or greenhouse. Things like radishes that have a short growing season, I got from seed. Same with carrots. Some of the squash is from seed, some of it is from starts. I often use starts just because it's slightly more expensive, but you're usually only $1 or $2 a piece. So it's a lot quicker that way.
Buying it from
it's still cheaper than buying vegetables from the store. With containers, even big ones like this, with a big plant growing out of it, you probably want to water it every day or every other day. The way I've dealt with this is by putting in a drip irrigation system, which sends water directly to the roots of the plants. And those are kind of a expensive thing to get initially, but once you have all the parts, it's pretty easy to just reuse them from year to year.